you share your screen and move everything off the screen.
Okay.
Hello, Marquis. We're in test mode right now.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Wednesday, March the 26th. We're live at the New York Stock Market afternoon session. Glad you can join us. Hope everybody's doing well. All right. Sorry for the late start. Just a few little hiccups there getting started. For those out on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it very much. We are the Simple 123 Traders. And first thing we always look at is news. So I'm going to go take a look at news for today, which is March 26th. And we had no red news for US, in the US. Red news for British pound CPI. Ooh. For GBP, I should say, and annual budget, but no red news in the U.S. So tomorrow, I believe, is the big red news day. We have, GDP unemployment coming up tomorrow, so that should be quite interesting right at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Okay, a look at the euro versus the U.S. dollar. I'm on the hourly time frame. So we're both neutral on the hourly. So we're just sideways right now. So US dollar is strong to the upside, but we're neutral right now. Euro US dollar is weak to the downside and neutral currently. So looking for US dollar to continue moving up and the euro to continue moving down. All right. I look at, I'm on Bitcoin, so I just go to the hourly. So interesting movements here. So from yesterday, I was calling for a drop in the markets today, and we're certainly getting that. It looks like Bitcoin has more room to go up. So that might be what the indices could possibly be doing as well. I've got a 1, 2, 3 right here, and we are moving up, and looks like the next move, logical move, should be back to the upside. So we'll look for a possible sweep of this low here, and then look for a 1, 2, 3 here to go back up to take out at least this high anyways, and perhaps both. So that will be the kind of thing I'd be looking for on Bitcoin. That's on the 4. I'm on the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour candle just opened at 1 o'clock. So we just opened, and so we want to get in on the 4-hour candle. We want to get in this area on the tail, and then catch that 1, 2, 3 here to go back up if at all possible. All right, let's take a look at the NAS, and it is right there. Okay, so I was calling for yesterday for the NAS to come up into this area, possibly even higher. I didn't expect it to come up into this guy here, but certainly could have made it into this one. They fell short in no man's land, essentially. There's nothing here. So quite interesting that they went up there anyways, but I thought we would, at this level here, we would turn back to the downside, but they went a little higher and now have turned to the downside. So I've got gaps down here that looking for something similar to what Bitcoin is doing, in the sense that we could certainly drop into this gap and get a little bit of a bounce here. So this bounce might be short-lived because I've got a 1-2 here. So this drop, bounce, and then we would continue. So this bounce to the upside here would be in line with Bitcoin's move back. So Bitcoin is like this. We were looking for 1, 2, 3 bottom on Bitcoin to go up, and that would be in line with this move on the indices as well, right? So looking for a little bit of a drop possibly into this area here on the NAS. S&P should be similar. S&P's got, get rid of that. S&P's got gaps in here as well, so we could certainly come into this area and bounce. Tesla, also was looking for Tesla to come up into this area here and turn around and come back down, and it's the same type of thing. We've got the same a gap down here. We could certainly drop down into that gap before we continue going again. So looking at Tesla, I've got it all marked up here, but looking for continued movements down in the short term, at least anyways. 30-minute, 15-minute. I got the 15-minute highs marked, and now these are no longer in force. Can remove that. Let's go down to the 5. So the 5-minute, this is no longer in play, and this one's no longer in play because we've got new highs there. So that's what's in play currently. And then on the bottom, it would have to be something off the 15-minute or something like that to catch that. So we're in a very steep decline currently. So any moves back to the upside on Tesla would present opportunities to continue down. We have a 1, 2, 3 here, another one. So we could continue stepping down like that. Stair step. So pretty good. All right, so back to the NAS. Go back up to the hourly. Looking for price to possibly drop in here to this gap. So do we get a little bit of a bounce here, perhaps? We're at an order block. We're at gap. There's lots of gaps here. 30-minute, still going. Boy, that's quite the drop. I wanted to take a quick look at gold because, yeah, gold is also, I was looking for gold to fall. So gold is kind of sort of similar in the sense that I was looking for them to come back down hard with gold. So looking like we're going to take out all these lows. We've already taken that one. So next, and then final. So gold is set up for a big drop here. I think silver should be similar, not totally similar, but looking for a continued drop here as well. So a little different on silver, but looking for a drop as well there. All right, and you can see it a little better on the 15. So got a 1, 2, 3 there, drop. And now we're inside a fourth wave, chopping up and down, and we would expect a continuation down. Of course, we could do some more gyrations before we get that, but something like that. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Marquis, glad you can join us there. George, you're good?
We're good, yep.
Peter?
Yeah, I'm on top of the world.
Awesome. So you caught some of Tesla. I take it from the opening this morning. Let's see where the opening was today. We opened low. Yeah. Opened low, and then went back up. Yeah, they went right back up into this gap, and then created a 1, 2, 3 top. Well, this is on the 5-minute, and then straight down we went, retrace
I
again,
caught that move down, and then it went into wave 4, and then I caught the other move
and
down.
then yeah, you get another move back down again out of wave 4. So that's just beautiful setup here. I'm on the 5-minute, but you can see our structure perfectly here, and that's the move that we're getting right now. So this is just beautiful stuff. Yeah, if you can see this, it's yeah, wonderful entries here and here to catch that move, catch these moves that's playing out right now. So for again, for those that are new to us and watching us for the first time and so forth, we're looking for a particular setup, and that setup is called the 1, 2, 3. It's simply a 3 candle. It can be a 3 candle, but it's a 3. It's a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3. So something like this we're looking for. And essentially it's just a triangle. And then we're looking for the drop. So we want to catch our number 3 point for the entry. We want to be coming in this area and catching that move. Then that's basically all it is. So we have things that help us. A sweep of the previous high, that's give that a check mark. A sweep of the previous low is also a check mark. In this case, this one did not do that. But that would have been a check mark if that was the case. And then retrace back into this area, which would be about 50 to 62% retrace. 50 to 62% retrace of this move. We retrace back up, or that's a check mark. So or we look for a gap, previous gap on this leg, and that would be a check mark. And we can look at an order block, and there's an order block as well. That would be a check mark. Yeah, and just keep it at very simple like that. You don't need a gap. You don't need an order block. Just the movement back to 50 to 62% area is sufficient for what we do. And you can catch that move, and that's it. So targets, we would set our targets based on using the fibs. If I put the fib expansion, I'm looking for a target. I'm usually looking for a target of, oops, what was that? Let me just do this all over again. I'm looking for a target of 1.618. So if I drop that there like that. Okay, so I would be looking to exit at 1.618, which is this target right here. So that will be an entry, an exit. And anywhere in this area, 1.272, 1.414, 1.618 are great targets. 200% is also a good target. So it all depends on how brave you want to be. If you want to hang in there until it gets down into this area, it's great. If you want to go lower, that's also good. You know, it's all up to you. So there's a previous low here in this case, so that would have worked out nicely as well for a target. So 1.414 it happens to be on that low. So that 1, 2, 3 from there takes us down, and you could exit anywhere in this area and make some nice profits, or you could continue down to the lower area. You can even go down to 2.618, which it looks like we should be able to make it to that one as well on the next drop. So it all depends on how brave you are, how much you've made to this point and so forth, depending on how many lots you're putting on up this point. You can make hundreds here, thousands here. It all depends on your lot size. So it all depends on your risk tolerance, right? So it's basically open for profits. You can make as much as you want. All right, so that's our system. So at the current moment in time, looking for continued drop here on the NAS. So I'm going to go back up to the hourly. Look back at what we're looking for. We're looking for price to drop into this gap here. So that would be right there. Make sure I got that marked properly. Like that. Okay, so I'm looking for price to come back into this area, and then I'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3 at this point. I'm on the hourly right now, but looking for a 1, 2, 3 here to go back up to just retrace this move. So maybe to a 50% retrace area, and then a continuation, and perhaps to this gap next, something like that. So there's room here. How many handles we've got from here, from current price, George, 950 down to, let's say, 850. 100 handles, not bad. But there's room to go down still.
Still going down.
And it's still going down. So if there's any kind of a bounce, and right now it's, there we go. We got a little bit of a bounce right there. So this is a break of structure. Let's see, I've got an order block right there. So we're right in that sweet spot for a sell at this point. So since I have 100 handles, I could sell it right there and look to see if I can make it down to, yeah, that target area there. So there's the midpoint of that. So I would set a target for, say, maybe a quarter of the way in. That's maybe, I'll just set it for the edge right there and just see if we do make it to that level. So that's that. I've got a 1, 2, 3 here, and this also constitutes a 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting in at that point, looking for that drop down. This is a sweep on this side, and I'm looking for the drop. And here we go. Let me put a stop in just. I'll put my stop above here. It's a bit high up, but just in case we decide to spike up. We do have a gap here, so should be okay. We've been inside this gap quite a bit. So it's time for us to leave and go down. This is 1 o'clock. It's right here. So all this movement here from 1 o'clock, you can see we're just sideways. This was all in a macro at actually from 10 minutes to, so 10 from 10:50. Let me just find where that actual candle is. So right from here. So from here, this was a macro. So from this high, we had a macro playing out all the way through to 10 minutes after the hour. So it's from to here. This is all in a macro. I want to mark that properly. So from this candle to 10 minutes after, we were inside a macro. So quite interesting. And so this would have been play. If you, and this is very difficult to catch this one because you don't get much of retraces here. So there's a quick 1-2 here, but it's very quick, and you get drop. So that's a playable, but very tough to get in on that. And then they drop it down to this level. They chop it all up in the fourth wave, and now we're getting a move here. We were getting chopped up again, looking for a continued drop. This setup is almost identical on Bitcoin. I'm taking advantage of Bitcoin and jumped in as well. So jumped in right there, but it's a similar setup at 10 o'clock, at 10 to 1, sorry, 10 to 1 Eastern. I'm always using Pacific time. So we start right here. And chill till 10 minutes after the hour, and there's the low. So that's a macro that ran. So again, the same kind of situation. It's very quick. They drop it down, they move back up, and now they're dropping it down again, chopping up in here, looking for them to come down, take out the lows at these levels. You know, they're playing around now.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of that. We're fairly near that next level.
Just want to see them go straight down here. That's better. and short-lived. Wow. It was really short-lived. Looked pretty good there for a moment that we were going. I think I'll take a little something off this time. Let it come down. And not take some. Okay, take a little something off. No losing on this trade. Move my stop down a little bit. And put my stop into positive. That way there's no loss. If they want to come back up and get me now, they can, but so looking for target down way down here. Bitcoin's doing a similar drop. So I'll take some off on Bitcoin as well. So Bitcoin, similar drop. I just took a little bit off. I'm going to bring my stop down on that one. Can't bring that one right into positive yet because they can come back up real quick on Bitcoin. There's equal highs here too, so I have to be careful. It easily get taken out. So I'll bring it inside the equal highs just in case they decide they're going to go back up there. Limit my loss, but hopefully we don't come back up here at all. We just keep falling here. I've got a target for Bitcoin here because I've got equal lows over to the left. Can't see it on that time frame. Let's see on the 5. Nope, 15. There they are. So I've got these equal lows here. So that would make for a good target. at that level. So we're halfway down. You can see my 4-hour candle. I've got I've got 3 4-hour candles here. We can't see the third one because the third one's probably way up high. Let's see, where is it? There it is, way up there. So the third candle here was green, but very tepid. You know, indecision. They kind of moved. They opened, went down, and went up, and then closed high. Then we opened on the middle candle, couldn't take out the previous high. So since we couldn't take out the previous high, it's straight down, take out the low of that third candle, and right down we come. So now the current candle, we would expect the current candle to take out the previous low, and it did. We opened, went up high, took out the previous low, and we're heading down. So where are we? The question is, where are we heading down to? And so this gives us this low would be, you're looking at something to the left here. Let's see if I can find it. So I'm looking on the hourly, at the hourly low as a target at this point. And there's a gap there. There's a big gap. Let me just fix this chart. Okay, that's better. So there's a big gap here. So I'm looking at that gap. I've set my target to the top of the gap, but I could actually go right down to the middle of the gap. But there's no guarantee that they'll go down there, so I just set it at the top because you don't have to be greedy. Let's see if we even make it down there at all. Of course, they don't have to go all the way down there, but we would expect that they would. So I can bring my stop down a little bit further just to lock in a bit more profit here. Don't want to bring it too tight though. So just to the break of structure. Keep bringing it down as we move down. Don't have to move your stop, but you can if you want. Not very far away now. There's midpoint of the gap, this dotted line. Bitcoin hasn't moved in a couple minutes here. It hasn't moved from 86,539. Is your Bitcoin moving, George? Can you see, or is it frozen? Marquis, George,
Yeah,
is your Bitcoin moving?
I haven't looked at it yet. I was working on something else. I'll be back to you in a minute.
Looks like it's going sideways.
Yeah, now it's just it just gapped up all of a sudden. Interesting. So it hadn't moved for a bit here. That's quite interesting what happened here. So this is what it looks like. So I moved my stop down, but didn't want to bring it in too tight. Maybe I have brought it in a bit too tight. Wasn't expecting them to do what they just did here. But it didn't move from here for a good while, and then it gapped up all of a sudden. And now they're going to take me out. So, yeah, interesting. Would not have expected that move. So something happened here at this point. This is very unusual because it was stuck at this price for a while. So this is a very unusual move. So like I said, there is equal highs here that's possible that they could take that out, but I wasn't expecting them to do that. I would have thought we would have continued straight down like the NAS was doing. So is the NAS making a move back up now? Is the question here. Yeah, they're starting to make a move back up. So that's okay if they take me out for a stop here. That's fine. But something must have occurred for that to happen. It's a very yeah. So that's okay. I'm bringing my stop down. Get positive results. A very tiny loss on Bitcoin, but I got some profits by taking some early move. So is anybody speaking all of a sudden? Is there some kind of news that caused Bitcoin to freeze and then all of a sudden pop up? This is a very unusual move here in the market. I would expect them to come down into this gap. And let's just see where our fibs take us on this 1, 2, 3 top here. So we have a 1, 2, 3 top here to this low, to this high. It's 3.618, 400% to the middle. So this is quite an unusual. I'm very surprised at what's going on with Bitcoin all of a sudden. This is something has happened here because we're so close to that low. They don't have to take that low, mind you, but it seemed reasonable that we would go down. So they have swept. Let me just move this 10-minute thing to this low here. They swept that low out right there.
These have been pretty aggressive moves up on Bitcoin.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. So they sweep the lows over to the left right here, but what they did here was that they gave us a 1-2. I'm looking for that drop one more time to take out this low and drop into this gap or low here. Because we have equal lows way over to the left over here, but they don't do that, or they might still do that. I suppose they could still do that. They can still come down, but all of a sudden, I noticed that it froze at this price right here. It just froze there for over a minute, and then all of a sudden it opened, and it opened up high. You can see it opened on the red candle with a red candle. So we opened high. We were sitting right here. I was expecting this drop to take out these lows, and it opened high. Quite interesting. And now we get this move up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to the upside here. So if we breach this low, we could be coming back down again. So some anomaly occurred here, and I'm not sure what would have been the trigger at that point, but very interesting. So it kind of broke our structure to some degree. I mean, you can still see here that we have 1, 2. So I've got A and a B and a C and a D. So this is like the E leg. So we can still come down and take out all these lows here. Okay, so we're at 1:45, 2 o'clock. So we're coming up to another macro in 6 minutes. So that macro might take us right down. Similar to the 1250 or to the 150 macro here. 1250 macro, I should say. The 1250 macro did move us down really quickly. So this macro coming up could do the same. So will they go and take the high one more time, or is that enough for them? This move here consists of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's great. That's the controller. We don't want to take this high, really. So if we can stay below that, that would be great. But they might go through just a spike and then come back down. Are they done here? We'll just get a 1, 2 and go. It looks so. Okay, so that could have been a sell right there. It's a tough one because they could go up one more time and take that high, or they're done and we're heading straight down. So
a pretty big move that they just took.
Yeah, we got a breach here. So retrace would be good. We could still catch the move, depending on how many handles we have left to go. We're not very far. We weren't very far from target at this point. So you think the NAS might be about the same? Yeah, they're doing the exact same 1, 2, 3 there. So looking to finish that move. So I brought my stop down quite a bit, and yeah, no problem. They take me out, but didn't have to move my stop, but it's always good to take some profits off if you can get it, because they can do this kind of thing. They can even come back up, and if you have your stop in positive, they can take you out. So that might have been a takeout if I had my stop, too tight to where I entered. I don't like to go up break even. I prefer, if this is break even, I prefer to, and I'm going down, I prefer to have my stop in positive a little bit. Get yourself some profit. Why go to zero when you can make something, if they do come back and get you, is what I say. But that's all just preference. Okay, so we've got a 1, 2, 3 there. So it looks like if we were going to want it to get in again, since we've breached that low, I can see that we do have a inverted gap here. So let's see if we can come back into this inverted gap, and that would present an entry to come down. Looking for a sell.
You on the NAS?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty close. How far am I away from target? Not very far from target here. So 880 to 930. So 50 handles thereabouts. So I could try to go maybe a quarter of the way into the gap instead for a target and get a little bit more. Get an extra 20 or so handles. Could have put a limit order. Lots of time there for that. We're looking for one more push up, take out this high and go right into that gap. So we're into the macro. 3 minutes in from 10 minutes to. So looking, we've got a 1, 2, 3, got another 1, 2, 3. So I'd like to see them come back into this gap. Don't know if they will or not though. They came very close. They are taking their time.
Sure is.
They might not go back up there. I could just drop it right down right now. Still looking for them to go up there though. Very choppy sideways affair here.
I mean, I've just got 3 dojis and a small candle.
They should come back up and take out these equal highs here. Looking for a takeout of that high into the gap, drop. And they said, no, maybe we're not going to do that. We're just going to go straight down without you.
It hasn't really decided. Either.
No, they're still not. They haven't made up their mind yet.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, you know, we know there's a lot of people sitting up here with some stops. Maybe we should go back up, guys. Let's go back up and get them. So they're thinking about it.
They're thinking about it, that's for sure.
It doesn't, you know, it doesn't hurt them to go back up here and get these guys because it's not that far.
And you know that there's a lot up there.
Yeah, so it would be beneficial for them to do that. But there's no guarantee here. They can just tank it. But they've been sure accumulating in here, that's for sure.
Well, going down, there's a lot of volume too available.
Bitcoin's doing a similar thing. Bitcoin won't give me a retrace either.
No, they're both doing the same thing.
Yeah, so it looked like the best entry was here. That would, you know, I thought perhaps they might make a run for this high one more time, but they did not. And so I'm thinking they're going to make a run for this high, and they're not. So That's all right. They might just leave town without us here, leave the station. So a nice 1-2, 1-2, and maybe we're going down. I could jump in, you know, I mean, still, even at this point, I could still jump in, but it's all good. You can go without me. I prefer to catch it on the retrace. So since they didn't come into where I wanted them to, it's fine. They can go. But you can always jump in if you feel. I mean, there is another 1, 2, 3 here as well. I could have jumped in at that point. So still, that opportunity was still there. Now we're breaking structure. So a break of structure at this point, we don't have any order blocks here. So we do have order blocks, but it's not super valid ones. So we could still get another retrace, possibly back up before we drop, but maybe grasping now. So if they did that and came back to this level, you could still enter. If you feel there's enough handles to target, right? So we're very close to target there. So is it worthwhile to do what I'm saying? That will be the question. Bitcoin looks like it's presenting a better opportunity here. So if I go to Bitcoin, well, NAS is really coming. So Bitcoin's coming back quite nicely here. So there is a gap here, and we're coming into midpoint of the gap. So that looks pretty good. And NAS is probably doing the same thing, coming back up quite nicely as well, right?
It is.
Yeah. So maybe that was just a little fake out to get you to go in early. So that presents a nice sell on Bitcoin there, which I didn't do. I'm sitting here watching. I switched over to the NASDAQ on my other screen and missed that. Okay, so let's go back to NAS. So yeah, so we did come back up. That was a nice opportunity there on the NAS. And Bitcoin. So can they go up one more time?
I would kind of think so, because they really only took out a little bit.
I don't know if they're gonna though. That might be it. I've sold Bitcoin, but a little on the late side. I was a bit late into it, but they can possibly go back up one more time, but it's looking a bit lean. So we would expect, again, a drop to this level, 910 to 880. There's 30 handles to that level, which is not terrible. 30 handles, pretty good. So
NAS is down 2%. S&P is down 1.3. Dow is down almost a 0.5%.
Okay, so that seems like that would have been an
That should have-
entry even here as well to catch that little move. So Bitcoin has made that move back up, interestingly, that we thought that NASDAQ could do at this point. So we thought that NASDAQ could possibly come back up one more time here and then give us the drop. Bitcoin has done that, come back up and taken out that high. So would expect Bitcoin to falter now and come back down. So they're still giving you opportunities to get in on the NAS, but because we're so close to that low, I'm not so more tempted anymore. So I could just let this be. So I'd be more looking for a this drop, which can be quick. We're now into the macro, or into the algo, sorry, at 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock, the algo kicks in. So I'd like to see them drop it down and then give us a 1, 2, 3 bottom here to come back up. That would be the ideal here, but because they're just playing games here, they're not really doing anything. Should go straight down now. So very, very slow, methodical stuff. So they're getting there, but very slowly, very slowly.
Yeah, it is very slow.
So not much of an algo today so far.
Done.
Yeah, very tepid stuff. So they've swept this low. So we got to keep that in mind that they did sweep that low. I'm still looking for them to come down one more time, however, but they did sweep that low there. And we're not far away from this low here, which they don't have to come to this gap, but we'd like to see them come there. So is it their plan to go down there, or is it just a ploy? You have to always look at when they sweep. So this could be a bottom possibly, and we could be turning to go back up. If we take out this high, that might be the case.
Which high?
This high right here at 2 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
2 o'clock. I think that's 2 o'clock on the dot, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, 201. The 201 high right there. So they are changing. So we get a sweep. We're changing character. So this might be the bottom at this point. Interesting. So that's probably why they weren't going down it with any gusto. They want to bounce it from here, possibly. So quite a sneaky move if that's the case. Very sneaky move. So we do have an order block here. So I'd like to see them come back to this order block. The price. And I would buy here and put a stop here, because that might be what they're doing, turning it around at this point. And our algo could kick in to go. Algo is kicking in right now, actually. So
Yeah,
at
it's happening.
207. Interesting. Let's see if we do get a pullback.
Well, if the algo kicks in now, you're going to find it difficult to get it pulled back.
Yeah, they're not pulling back, you notice? But I'd still like to see them come back. Because we did.
Well, they've been down here so long that, anything goes.
They're very sneaky, and that's a very sneaky play, if that's the case right there. But I just noticed that they did sweep that low, so that could be our signal that they're heading back to the upside. So let's see if we can get a retrace back to the order block and continuation. Now they might not come all the way back down there. They could just come to the gap here, maybe. So let's see what happens here. They might not even retrace at all. Yeah, wow. Very, very subtle change there. That's very good. They did that without much fanfare. They kind of lulled everybody to sleep here. And then slowly took that out. So will we get that retrace? Maybe, maybe not here, eh? So the algo is kicking in. And you can see we're pushing up nicely. So they're going to take this high.
Here's your chance.
You see a deeper retrace than that, George.
Yeah, but you have to remember, if you're in an algo,
Mm-hmm. Got to go a little deeper than that still. How's Tesla doing? Wow. So Tesla, oh, they've made quite the 1, 2, 3 bottom there. So they swept. They've swept. Beautiful 1, 2, 3 bottom. Buy opportunity. Take out the highs. So they came down one more time, and that was it.
You got it.
So yeah, they're turning it around quickly here. So that was the expected that we would turn around. However, they didn't quite make it down to our lows that I thought they would come down to. So quite interesting what they've done here. That's a beauty 1, 2, 3 there, Peter. So there's our sweep. There's our sweep.
I got
Change
it.
of character there. Beautiful, beautiful move, ABC. So entry. So let's calculate this. Let me just see how far down they came from this high to this low. They came down 50, 70. Oh, I've got this backwards. Let me do this the opposite way. From the low to the high. They came down 79% exactly. Wow. So it came down 79%, turned it around, and they turned it around with a sweep and a little 1, 2, 3 right there. So
Is there a fib tool in investing.com?
there is also.
I can't find it.
It would be, it's almost identical charting tool, charting platform. So it's in this one.
It's in what one, sorry?
It's on your left here.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the second one from the top.
Oh, second from the top. Let me have a look.
Something like that.
Second from the top is Trendline.
Next one down then.
Next one is Pitchfork.
Yeah, so if you click on the arrow, it drops down a list of all kinds of stuff in it.
Oh, I see that. Oh, okay. Oh, fib retracement. Oh, wow.
Fib retracement, fib expansion as well, extension. So yeah. So yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful setup there on Tesla. Then we break this high, we break this high. They come back in a little bit. Another buy opportunity there again to continue. So this is great option play right now on Tesla because if I look at the 5-minute, if I put the extension tool, the extension 1, 2, and 3. If I wanted to go to 2.618, so 283, and we're sitting at 272. Wow. So I would buy the 275 calls or something like that. 275 calls at 272 or 274 calls for Friday expiration and target 283, something like that. What would those be running at right now? Let's go to the bar chart here. Just want to quickly take a look at Tesla. Might be pretty expensive, I would think. Tesla option prices. So let's look at 275 calls. Click that, option prices. $275 calls are about $500. So $500, and the current price is 271.80. So let's say 272. Let's see how much they'd be worth when they hit 283. Probably a minimum of probably a triple, maybe even quadruple your money or more to get to that level. If this is a true 1, 2, 3 bottom and we're going, then so you risk $500 here with a call for one contract, buy as many as you want, but you might end up with like say 15 to 2 grand per, maybe let's say 15 to be conservative. 3 times your money, not bad. That's being conservative too. Let's see what NAS is doing. So NAS slowly, it's very slow here. They still haven't come back very much. So I would expect them now to take out this low, so we could get a retrace back. Where we're going to retrace into, there's a gap here. So let's mark that gap. So we might come back into this gap, perhaps. And that would present a nice buy on the NAS if we do retrace back into this gap here. And might not. They're just going. They are leaving the town without coming back. So that's interesting that they are not taking that blowout. You would think that they would do that and then go. They still might, but let's see. It's almost 50% back to that gap. That would be perfect. This here. 50% is just 50% is directly in the gap. So either way, I'd like to see them, if they're going to come back into this gap and give us a nice bounce here. But they might not do it. You can see the our 4-hour candle. We opened, dropped, huge, and total rejection. So the buyers have just stepped in huge here. So this has given us our 1, 2, 3 bottom that we're looking for to come back up. So they're not really retracing here. So the algo is really kicking in nicely to the upside at this point.
When you get a chance, can we go back to investing.com?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can get it. Last time it froze on me. Let's see if it'll do it this time. Flash, back up, pro. No, let's kill that. very slow. Haven't been here in a while. There we go. Okay.
So go to fib retracement.
Let's go to Tesla. One minute. Okay, so the fib retracement tool is.
Yeah, I found it, but I don't. There it is.
Yeah.
So how do you get the numbers? Like I know how to
So
draw.
you click, you hold, you drag. So just
you
click,
just
hold, and drag. Yeah.
click, hold, and drag. Let me try that.
Yeah. Click on the point that you want, and then
Okay, let me
drag to the next point.
Let me try that. Okay, fib retracement. Click, hold, and drag. I'm obviously doing something wrong.
Okay, so I click the tool. I find the point that I want. So if I want to go from this point here to the low point, I click and just hold it and drag it to that next point I want to go to.
Well, I click it, and then what do I do?
And drag it.
So what do you mean? Oh, click it and drag it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try that.
Drag the circle.
I'm obviously doing something wrong. Okay, so. Okay, Fibonacci retracement. Hold.
Okay. So I click on the point where I want, click, don't let go, drag to the next point that I want, and let go. And then click again. Got it? Works?
No,
No?
my brain has stopped working here.
Okay. So I click the tool. So now now I've got it on the cursor, but it's not there until I click somewhere. So I click onto the point where I want. So I click on this point here. It's there. Now I can just drag to this point and then click again, and then it's there.
Okay, let me try again.
Click, drag, click.
I'm just trying to get rid of it because I put it on. I did something wrong. Okay, my brain has stopped working. I've been working too hard today. Let me try again. Okay, so we go there. Okay, so then when I find fib retracement, I click on it and then just drag it over.
No, you just click, and then move your cursor to where you want to put your point to start your point, start your retracement. So now I can start wherever I want. If I want to start over here or over here, or and then now you click here, it brings the tool up, and then you drag to the next point and then click again, and that's it.
Okay, let me play with it, and if I can't figure it out, I'll get back to you.
Are you watching what I'm doing?
Oh yeah, I'm watching everything.
Drag, isn't it?
I can't get. I've got it on my screen, but I can't get rid of it.
Just right click on it. Right click on the circle.
Yeah.
And just click remove, or just press the delete button.
Oh, remove. Okay. Okay. So let me try all over again. So I go to Pitchfork.
Well, you don't have to go to Pitchfork. It's right there now. It's the last one you've used. It'll bring up the last thing that you've used. So you just click that. You don't have to go into it anymore. Like you don't have to go down. You can just click that because that's the last one you use. So click it.
Okay. So I've clicked on fib retracement. I just clicked it. Do I just click it?
So now you go onto your chart.
Yeah.
And find your first point. Click.
Yeah.
Drag. to your next point. Click again, and it's there.
Drag to what point?
Whatever point you want. From one point, you're trying to make a retracement. You're trying to find a retracement, so you drag to whichever point. What are you trying to calculate?
Well, I want to find 50% retracement for this
For
one.
that move here, for example, right? So that's what you do. From this point, you drag to that point. So if I want to drag to this point, I just do that. If I want to drag to this point, I just do that.
Yeah, well, I get the tool, but I don't get the numbers, like 50%.
What do you mean you don't get the numbers?
Well, I don't get the scale.
Okay, right click on it and go format. Go into format.
Clicking and releasing.
Click on format.
Yeah.
Do you see that you got check marks on these things in here?
Where are you now? You totally lost me. I don't know what you're doing.
Right click on the circle again.
Yeah.
Click format.
Yeah. And then what?
And then in there you'll see all the numbers. Have you got them checked? Are they all checked?
Oh, okay.
Check the one.
Okay. You're a million miles ahead of me as usual. Let me go to my
It should have
chart.
been up by default. I think that they're all there, but
No,
you can check.
they're not there.
Okay, so I've got everything checked up to 4.236, and you can.
Okay, let me.
So check those and press OK, and then.
Okay, fib retracement. Okay, so let me go down here. Okay. And then go to format, and they're all checked, but they don't show up. Like the numbers don't show up on my screen.
Okay, well, drag it. Do another one. Drag it again. You've clicked OK on that, right? When you check them, yes.
I didn't check them. They were already checked.
Oh, so the numbers should be showing up then.
They're not showing up.
Maybe you got the wrong color on it or something. What's your background screen like? What? Let's see.
Well, why don't I just show you my screen, and then you can.
All right, let's see.
Then you can show me what I'm doing wrong.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Well, so NAS did not come back. Wow.
Okay, so start sharing. Okay, so now I've got my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Yes.
You've got the fib on there, so it must be.
But there's no numbers. There's no numbers, George.
Yeah, I see. There's no numbers.
I see one number.
Where?
209.82.
Yeah, down the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, could you drag that down?
Top.
Drag it down. So you got a number at the top and you got a number at the bottom there. So you do have some numbers. Right click on it again. Right click. Go into format. So they're all there. Looks all right. You just you've got 0 and you've got 0 only. Interesting.
0 and 100, or 0 and 24, something. 79.
Okay, do this, Peter. Right click on it again. Remove it. No. Remove it. Right click and remove. Okay, now can you make your chart bigger? Because it's too small.
Yeah, we've talked about.
Go to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, now we've got a big thing there. All right, so okay, grab the tool again. Click. Okay, now start at the top of that. Click at the top, or the bottom, whichever. Yeah, and then drag to the bottom. or vice versa, whichever way you want.
Click on it. Okay. Trib retracement.
And yeah, and click to the and go to the top. Right there. Click. Just click. Oh, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, Peter.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm trying.
Okay, just click. You just click in 2 points, right? So
Okay. Okay. So
okay, drag it down to the bottom. Right there. Click.
I clicked it.
Okay. Yes.
It's
For
still-
whatever reason, it's not doing it properly. I'm not sure
Still-
why. I'm not sure why yours is not showing you. Okay, why is it not? Hmm. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I'm not sure why it's not giving you all the defaults there.
Oh, I'll play with it. I'll play with it.
What happens if you click the ones that are the second ones over? You have only 3 numbers clicked there.
No,
Check
they're all clicked.
middle row.
That's the correct. Those are the correct numbers.
So, yeah, but he has 3 checks in the middle one. Do you need those or what?
Yeah. Yeah, those are fine. I'm just not sure why it's not presenting him with the.
How about, do you have to click percent also? He had just prices clicked.
Let's just see. Percent also.
Yeah, it was to the right of prices, I think.
No, percents doesn't have to be checked. No.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's doing that, Peter. Very interesting. We did get a retrace on the NAS. I'm trying to take advantage of it here. Yeah, you're gonna have to play with that one and see what's going on there. Very odd behavior. All right, so let me share my screen again. Sorry, Peter. All right, so we did get a retrace here. I jumped in maybe a little tad early. I thought maybe we were good to go here on this pin bar, but they came back down, took out the low, so they might actually come right into this gap, and then I'll just buy some more because I'm expecting them to continue up from here, I would think. So let's just see how it looks on the 5. Am I correct that they're going to turn around and go back up, or are they going to continue straight down? It looks like we should get a bounce here. So looking for that. So I'll buy some more if they do come back into this gap here. So it looked like they were done right here, but now we've got a sweep. So I'd like to see them come back and sweep this high, give us a 1, 2, 3 here and go. So they looks like they want to touch into the gap now. So if that's the case, I'll buy more. So we did touch. Wow, I'll take the touch. Okay, and then I'll put a stop in below the gap. I'm looking for them to go back up now and take this high out. So I'm doing this without getting a 1, 2, 3 set at this point. So jumping in on a touch of the gap here. So they did come back eventually. Interesting. So where is 50% of that move? We're right about that 50%. So my first entry was pretty close to 50%. So they're still hovering right on the gap here. So we're just below 50%, right at 62% basically. So the fib on here is the extension on here is basically the same. Did it the wrong way again. So why it's not showing those numbers? Okay, they better not take me out here. Ow, that's really bad. So they're dropping it a lot more than I would have expected here. So we're coming down much more than 50%, 62%. We're coming down to 79% retrace. So that was a nasty stop out there. Not liking that. So they actually coming back to the order block. Quite interesting here. So let's move this gap down to this gap. So I will try again for a fractal. So I'll take that buy right there. Stop below the low here. Let's see if we get a bounce now. This is an order block right there, so hopefully that holds price up for us and we continue up. I'm just looking for a bounce. I don't know if we're going to get it. They might be faking us out and deciding, okay, let's go and drop it back and continue down here. We do have equal lows here, so that could be a nice ploy on their part here, and they're going to take everybody out who bought and didn't sell up here. I'm looking for a bounce, so it's right into the order block now. And yeah, so they took me out again, so
Block right now.
not good. Wow, what a big, huge wick. tail. That's nasty. So they're taking everybody out down here. So they're so close to taking out the lows. But since they've already swept here, you would think that this should be okay here. We should be okay here. So, it's quite interesting now. I'm not liking that. 2 losses in a row there. So we've come down almost 100% retrace of this move, which is allowed. We can go 100%. So it's looking more like they want to just continue down. And from the 5-minute standpoint, yeah, it looks like that's the case. So a nice little fake out here. Looked like maybe we were done. We could get this nice little bounce here and take out the highs and move up a little bit, retracing this move. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe a bit too early. Still possible here, though. Still possible. So I'm not giving up on it. Let's see how Tesla might help us here figure this out. So let's see if Tesla. So Tesla has made, get rid of this guy and this guy. So Tesla has made a sweep, a low, another sweep, nice, beautiful 1, 2, 3 here. Great for an entry here. They look like they want to take out this, oops, looks like they want to take out this low here. Let me just make this bigger. Everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there's a sweep, another sweep. There's our low, move up, right back in. There's a gap. There's an order block. Everything looks pretty good. Looks like they may want to take this low again, though. Right there. So will they take that low again? If not, then that would be a, if either way, if they take the low, it would be a buy. Or if not, if they don't take the low. So we've got a little bit of a sweep right there now. So this could be a buy right there for Tesla. But they might drop it down one more time and take this low. So yeah, they're looking to take the equal lows out. So a nice little ploy here, George. It looked really good. It looked really good there. That we had a nice bounce, you know, change of character, everything, and we could get a bounce off.
Low.
But they said, nope, we're not doing that whatsoever. We're just going to fool you guys.
Low now.
So they're heading to where I was expecting them to go to in the first place, down to that low. So there's the low, and there's the midpoint of that low. But they just did it in a very circuitous way. So quite conniving, deceiving, sneaky market makers there on that. So this is how they fool you, right? They make everything look perfect, and it looks, you know, this move looked quite strong, like the bulls were in charge here, and the buyers were in charge. We would make a nice push here, and coming back down. Yeah, coming back down, we should get a bounce here, but nope, not to be.
They're going down to.
We're touching that gap that I was referring to. So that was the target that I thought that we would just come through here and drop to, but you see they didn't want to do that right away. They said, let's go back up and take these guys out first. All the sellers, let's go take them out.
He sunk it down.
Let's take all the sellers out, and then we'll come back down. Take all the buyers in here who thought, oh yeah, this looks great. Buyers in here, this looks great. Buyers in here, so, you know, stops in here. Let's take them all out now. So very mean and nasty, but that's the way it is. So I need to make all that back now. All right, so we're down to, if I go back to the hourly, we're down into the gap now. So this is where I thought we'd get to at first, but they stopped short and it looked like maybe they might turn it around there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah, so very sneaky on their part. We got to give it to them. And you have to expect that that's possible. You know, there's no guarantee that we're going to get a bounce here. I was hoping that we would, but hope doesn't work in this game.
That's for sure.
Hoping and praying does not work in trading. So, all right, so we got a little bit of a fake out there. And now I'd be looking for a real 1, 2, 3 bottom at this point to turn us around. So I've got a 1, 2 here. So they're probably going to drop it down one more time into that midpoint area of the gap.
Yeah.
So I would think they would come down into this area first and then give us that 1, 2, 3 to come back. So we're at 10 minutes too. So we're into a macro again at this point. Yeah, so they sneak that one.
Which is a pretty solid price to win. Only a couple more days to get in on that before we flip over to April's pricing. All the details at jack1031.com. Right now in Parachute Club, where I got this on
Oh, somebody's got the radio on. Have to mute you, Peter. Okay, Stacy's with us. Armin's joined us. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. You get to see the big fake out move here by the market makers. So this was a possibility that they would take that low, and they have, and they've come right back. So let me go over this one more time. I'm gonna just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I was expecting and seeing overall. So remember from yesterday, I thought that we would come back up into this area, and then today and the rest of for the rest of the week and onwards, we would be heading down to take out all these lows. So that was the plan of attack. So they did go up into last night into that area here that I expected them to turn it around and drop it down. So they came up into this gap. I thought that would be sufficient for them at that point, but they did go above it. I don't know why they went above it so much, because there's nothing really there for them to go into. So it's like, so they went up there anyways and turned it around in a nice 1, 2, 3 top when we dropped all the way down. So here we have a big gap. And so this drop down, I'm expecting a bounce here. So after this huge drop, they did fake us good though, because at this point here, I thought that maybe that was the bounce that we were going to get, because they came short of this gap, but they said, no, you were correct. We are going to the gap. So we fooled you. So they fooled us here. And they've come down to the gap and touched the gap. So at this point, I'm looking for a turnaround. So you can see the structure all the way down now is pretty nice. Got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and nice fake. So I thought maybe we would bounce here, but they said no, we want to come down to the gap like you thought originally. So I'm still looking for them to come down a little bit, and then we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom to go back up short term. So this would have been a nice play to the downside rather than a play to looking for a retrace here. But because they swept here, it looked pretty good. We sweep here, take these guys out, take all these guys out, take all these guys out. Oops, it looked pretty good that perhaps they were good and we would bounce, but nope. Especially because they swept here, but they left equal lows, so it's it's tempting for them to come back and take it out, and that's what they did. So looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom in this area here now to come back. up. So where are they going to do it? So I've got, there's the gap. There's the entire gap right there from the low to the high. This is the midpoint of the gap from the hourly time frame. So if we can, let me make this higher. If we can drop into it, if we can drop down a little bit into it, maybe touch, give us a 1, 2, 3 here, that might present great buy opportunity for the NAS. So Bitcoin's doing the exact same thing. So I'm waiting for the same type of setup as well on Bitcoin. So how far down are they going to go? Are they really going to come down to the middle of this thing? If it looks like it's worthwhile play,
It looks like it right now.
It could sell that down to that level. So I might just do that. I'm just going to sell it here because I think they're going to drop it down further. So just to make some of my losses back here, let's see if I can quickly get a quick drop down and see if they'll make it down to midpoint of the gap. So I'm selling it here because I've got a fractal. So looking at the breach of the fractal. A fractal is high, two lower highs beside. And that constitutes a 1, 2, 3 at that point, and looking for that drop to come down. So looking for this to come down. This is a one. Let me put that back. This 1, 2, 3 is a 1, 2, 3 on a lower time frame. Like right now we're on the minute. So if I went down to this 15-second chart or the 10-second chart, 5-second chart, you would see our structure that we're looking for in this little fractal. So where's my stop? Can't put my stop here really. I mean, that's the place to put it, but it's very easy for them to knock you out from here, right? Quick wick, take you out and then drop. Stop here. Bit far away, but not terrible. So what would that be? See here. And my TP midpoint. So it's almost a 3 to 1. I need a big drop here. So if this was our macro at 2 o'clock, George, that was a very short-lived little macro.
It sure was.
Yeah, so we, 2 o'clock time here, we got our gaps and a little bit of a macro run, but very short-lived. And now we're having another macro run. I mean, from here, which is about 2:30 time, to this level. So I'm looking for a big drop here. Let's see if we get it. Not dropping very fast here.
Gonna keep you guessing.
Yeah, they're playing around in the fourth wave there, so might have jumped in a bit early. Yeah, see, they're coming back up again, so I will
13 handle.
I will sell some more. Looking for them to drop it here. So am I safe up there, though, is the question. Should be. There is a gap there. So I've got that much room. We're at midpoint of the gap. They've just swept these guys here. So we should be good now to drop, hopefully without them coming all the way back up. So really this gap would be like right there. Still halfway point, so that should be enough for us to go, unless they're going to go one more time up to, well, for whatever reason. I don't know why they would want to come up here again, but they really shouldn't. But they could. They could do it. We got 1, 2 here, so we could go one more time. I could be in jeopardy right there. So do I dare move my stop back up to above here to be a little safer? Because this is the candle that's starting the gap. So my stop technically should be above the high. So I might just want to do that just in case. I don't want to be stopped out again. So I'll put it up here just in case. There's a gap here. They could be coming into this little gap right there. They're going through the big gap. That's just mean playing here. Wow. All right, that should be sufficient now. We've touched into the gap, and now we should drop. How's S&P doing? I haven't looked at S&P. S&P, oh, ooh, see that? S&P looks, oh my God. See how S&P took the low out. So maybe they're done, and they're going to take off. You see, there's some divergence here. I could be in trouble. So I didn't look at S&P, and I should have. So we didn't take out the low on S&P, on the NAS. S&P did. So this could be a bottom, and we're actually turning around. And when I'm looking for this final drop here, take these guys out, maybe we won't get it. So I have to be careful here, because that could be the ploy because of the divergence here. But they look like they still want to drop it one more time here too. So maybe that's just a weak low here. So tricky stuff. Okay, need them to come straight down, take these guys out. Armin, are we there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I made off like a bandit this morning in NASDAQ. That I was up at the open.
Oh, okay.
And managed to scrape together. Let's see, how much did I get? A little over little over 16 grand.
That sounds good.
It's a really nice, beautiful morning.
So what tipped it off that it was going to go down for you?
Oh,
I mean,
like I just pointed out from the top down yesterday, expecting that they would take price up into this area, and then looking for them to drop it down for the rest of the week, and to take out all these guys down here.
Okay.
So that'll give us our structure. So unless we get divergence of some kind with the S&Ps, because that's possible, and right now they're both looking the same, right? So we can still get divergence, of course, but and we do have divergence. You see right here, at this point here, we have divergence on the NASDAQ and S&P. So this candle, this low, I go back to the S&P. You see, it is divergence right there. So this candle did not, they swept here, but on the NASDAQ, they did not sweep. See that?
Okay.
So very sneaky little play there. So that's what I was thinking that maybe they were doing right now, that they were gonna, because we didn't get we have divergence here as well. They might not come down and drop through, but S&P did sweep. So because they swept, this could be, let me just clear it. This could be just a 1, 2, 3, and we could just go without sweeping the lows again. But I'm hoping I hate saying hoping. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that they will sweep the low.
Yeah, you're betting.
I'm praying. I'm down on my knees here.
Yeah, right. No, you're betting. You're betting that it's going to go.
That they
go
should
down
come
a
and
bit
take
further.
the lows out, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I would expect, that they would do that.
I can just see God saying, well, Moses went long and Jonah went short. What do I do?
No, I don't think I think he'd be saying like, nah, there's like 15 million other people begging and praying for, something else, right? So ridiculous. Got no time for this.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that's the expected move to come down. Now, do we come all the way down to this midpoint of this gap? So this gap is on the hourly time frame, right, like that. So I'm looking for them to come to the middle of it, at least. So can we make it down there? So we got a nice drop there. Should have taken a little something off at that point. I'm chatting too much here. Okay, so need to take a little something off when I get a move like that, because you see how quickly they can come back. So that was silly to not take some profits there. Okay. See how S&P looks. So S&P's having trouble with breaking that low. I would still expect them to break that low, but they might not. So I have to be careful here. Need NASDAQ to drop one more time here now. This would be really disappointing if they don't go any further than this. And that's possible because of S&P struggling to break this low now. So they've already swept. So we have a 1, 2, 3. We have a sweep. We come back in. They don't have to break this low again. They can take off from here, and that would mean the NASDAQ has swept the low now, and they could actually turn around and go back up now too. So do I get another drop? I would expect that, but there's no guarantee here. So if I look at both of them at the same time, which is probably the wise thing to do, I can see both at the same time, see if they're both going to do the same thing, or one of them is going to trick us. So looking for another drop here.
If I may, I don't want to distract you at all, but when you're ready,
Mhm.
okay, I was going to suggest that there might be a gap on the daily chart. If you go back.
For the NAS?
No, for Tesla, which, you know, apparently follows the NAS. So there's a gap. Let's see, what day is that? That's March 21st. And it goes all the way back down to 249 there. I see there's a gap between 249 and about 256, 257. Can you see? I'm looking at my other screen here. So
On the daily?
On the daily, yeah. So
okay, so on the daily, this gap you're referring to right here?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm thinking that they're heading to first on this move down. So here's the overall structure of Tesla. We could just give it like that, and then we drop to this level. So now they're doing this kind of thing in here. So we could gyrate in here, you know, like that before we come down, but we could also just come straight down as well. Hard to say which one it's going to do, but the structure is pretty good here. So they did the dance. I felt that they would. I expected them to come back up into this area here. There's a gap there as well, and they did. It's the same thing as the NAS, right?
Yeah.
Same thing as the indices, and actually there's no gap there. And yeah, and then to come back down. So it's a similar type of thing to the NAS and the S&P that we're expecting them to drop down into this gap here. So
yeah, that'll
right,
take
so
us into early next week, probably April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, in there. Where
might even be before Friday here.
Yeah,
We got red news coming out tomorrow. So
right.
Yeah, we might be in for a surprise tomorrow morning. So at this point here, yeah, we're pointing straight down, looking very lean. So yeah, I would think that would be. So this gap is this was Fridays, and this is Monday. So this gap is I don't do it as a gap between the wicks and like how I do it normally. This is more a gap between the close on Friday and open on Monday.
Right.
So it's quite a big gap, but there is a regular gap in there as well, right? So if I mark that, it would be a gap like that. Right. So there are a gap within a gap, as it were.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for them to come down into that level. There's also a bigger gap, you know, from this level all the way down too, right? But you know, we're basically in it. So
right.
30-minute. You can see there is a gap here to here. So we're, you know, we can come down into there. Let's go to the 15, see how it looks. So we got a series of gaps, lots of gaps all the way down. So looking for them to come down. But at this point, I'm still looking for a bounce. You know, still looking for a retrace of the current move down. So we're getting this move down. You know, we've got gaps over here. So we could come into one of these and do a little bit of a bounce before we continue down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on the NAS and S&P and Bitcoin. A little bit of a reprieve bounce. Fake out more than likely, you know, because we have a 1-2 here. So we get that bounce and then continue down.
Right. Well, CCI on the 1 minute Tesla is just bottomed out with price at 268.50. So it's making its way back up now. And
so at this point, I do have a 1, 2, 3. So we've broken that low. I think we're heading down further here.
Okay.
Don't think we're done yet.
Be on the NASDAQ, but that's a bottom.
I'm sorry, George?
You have a 1, 2, 3 on the NASDAQ, but that's a bottom.
Yeah, let's go back to the NAS here and see where I'm at. So 5 minutes. Okay, so they're just sitting right on the edge of the abyss here to drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go down to the 1 minute. So this is, I'm still expecting them to drop it, but boy, they came.
Yeah,
they
that's
came,
what it seems like, but
they came down to
time.
We've swept. Now they're making a 1-2. Oh boy, hopefully this is not the bottom and we still drop one more time. I had another chance to get out there, but I didn't. Wasn't there. So, but yeah. So looking for another drop here to take these lows out, because I've got a 1-2 here, so I would expect them to do that one more time. Let's see how S&P is doing. Ooh, you see how they mess you up. There's S&P says that they've again swept, so that could be the bottom. We're sweeping here. We could just turn around here totally. I would be expecting them to go a little lower than this, but there's no guarantee. It's very messy here, right? So will they drop it one more time or not, right?
270.
So I might have missed my chance to get some profits there.
270.
I'm going to bring I've got a huge stop here, which is not so good. I'm going to bring my stop down a little tighter, because just in case I'm wrong now, I don't want my loss to be that big. Get down below 2 grand. I hate having to move this stop. Yeah, see, they would have taken me out right there. So I'll just put it above that high. Okay, they have to go and get me here then. But I'm going to take a big loss when I had some nice profits, which is kind of a drag. Thanks, Armin. You know I'm blaming you, right? So this could have been the bottom here at that point. Very sneaky little move here if it is, because S&P is giving us the divergence and change. So I could be in trouble here. So let's see if we get a retrace before they take this high. So I've got an order block down here, gap right there. It's a very tiny gap, but it works. And so I've got an order block here. Can we get a retrace back before they take that high? Or are they just going to be mean? Take me out first. Yep, that's too bad. All right, so we're not getting a retrace right away. So what's our time? Okay, we're into the second last macro of the day here at 15 minutes after 3. So there's a macro that runs from 15 minutes after 3 till quarter to 4. Sorry. So we could be coming back in, setting up for a move back up. I don't know how deep they're going to retrace here. We'll see. it's super unfortunate here. I had nice profits too. All right. So you see what they did here, and if you've got to really be watchful of that, because this is what they do. So on the NAS, we swept here. On S&P, we swept 1, and then they came back. It looks like they swept here again, or it's a tie. It's very close. Let me just see. The low there is 701.3, 701. Yeah, it's a tie. So they tied this low with the middle low. And so on the NAS, it was a sweep. So the sweep gave us the 1, 2, 3, whereas, so that gives us the divergence right there, divergence. So this 1, 2, 3 is not a 1, 2, 3 on the S&P, but it is on the NAS. So that's a valid 1, 2, 3 for us, because we got the sweep, and then we get the 1, 2, 3. But on the S&P, no. And the S&P gave us the proper structure this way. They gave us the 5 waves, which is what we would like to see. So we got a sweep right there. So this is beautiful too. And then we get this move out. So now we're just looking for a retrace back to continue now. So can we get that, or is it too late for a retrace? Have we missed the train? So this guy is no longer useful. I hope that all made sense, what I just showed you guys. They're very sneaky, eh? So these are the things you have to watch out for. So it looked like they wanted to go down further, but because of the divergence, it put brakes on that. That little divergence there is enough to throw everybody off, because I'm looking for them to go down one more time to take that low, but the S&P has already done that. They've already done it on the S&P. They took that low, so it's saying that it's time to go. And on the NASDAQ, you're sitting here waiting for this to drop through, and it doesn't happen. You'd be sitting there all day waiting for that to drop through, and it doesn't happen. So it's messing up our structure. So they're lying on the NASDAQ, but they're also telling the truth in a sense, because they are giving you 1, 2, 3. So it's quite tricky. The S&P was telling more of the truth here, and then straight off they just go straight up without you. So looking at it from the hourly standpoint, this is what I was expecting all morning, all afternoon here, right? Just coming back down to this gap there, coming back to the gap, and then here's our 1, 2, 3. We get the drop into the gap. I thought they might come a little lower, and then we get a bounce here. So this is a nice buying opportunity into the bounce, and then we would continue down again tomorrow or tonight, or for the rest of the session, type of thing. So that would be the expectation.
If I may make a comment here.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, you were saying that it would Tesla would go up to about 290, and it did, but not till after close.
Right.
And so
that was expected, that they would do that, push Tesla up into this area, because there is a gap up here and everything, right? So they would come up into this, possibly come up to this area. So they came very close to that. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go in there, interestingly. And then they turned it around. So now we would expect them to bring this all the way down. But same thing on like we're doing on the NAS and so forth. We're looking for a little bit of a bounce here because they've been relentlessly coming down today or this afternoon. So it would be nice to see a little bit of a bounce before they continue going down, right? So if you look at that big, huge 1, 2, 3 there. So we're in a very steep fall here, steep decline. So we might not get any bounces here at all. But since the NAS and S&P are doing that bounce, you would expect Tesla to do similar. So you can see they're turning it around real quick. So that might have been that's it. That might be it, that bounce, right? I've been looking for, right? Interesting. That was pretty quick. So let's see if expected. Yeah, I would expect them to go a little higher than that, right? Back up to this level. So let's go back to let me mark that and we'll see where it is on the 1 minute. So at least back up to here or higher would be ideal. But will they do that? So yeah, back up to here would be good. But I don't know if they're going to do that. It is a possibility again. So on the NAS, I've got the structure already setting up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking for them. Can they make it up there? Yeah, it's possible, right? See? So that's what I'm kind of looking for. So that presented a buy opportunity right here on the NAS, right in there on about a 50% retrace. I'm just eyeing it, 50% retrace. I've got a fractal, so I'll take the trade right there to see if I can make my money back. Yeah, I'd like to see them take out this high and continue up. Let's see how S&P looks. So S&P is different because S&P does not have a 1, 2, 3 like how the NAS did. We have a sweep, so it just went straight. So it's like a 1, 2 here. So I'd still like to see them do that. But there is a 1, 2, 3 in here somewhere, right? But it's very quick. Again, I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody out there, but all I can say is that these guys are really good. You have to be on the ball. You have to be watching like a hawk. They manipulate it so well. Yeah. You also need to take your profits when you get a chance to. Like I didn't take my profits here, so that was not good. So looking for continued move to the upside. So they've come back into this gap. So I'm hoping that's here again. I'm expecting that should hold and we'll push off. So anytime I say hope, the word is expect. Yeah, will they take that low again? Yeah, that's mean. So yeah, they do that. Okay, so at this point, I'm taking a risk here, but I'll buy it again. because I'm expecting them to go back up, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to put a stop in just in case I am wrong. Put it just below this level. Again, technically, I should have it below the gap here. Start of the gap. That's a bit low, but so I'll put it at a technical spot. So this gap has now been taken out. So can we turn around and go back up, or are they done at this point and they're coming down because we've got a 1-2? So we could do this again and take out the lows, which is not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to go back up again, right? So because I have a 1, 2, 3 here, so I would expect them to go up, not come down. And my TP, if I'm correct, would be up at the high. Go a little higher than the high. So I could be in jeopardy here again if they decide that they're not going back up there. They just want to come down because we are under pressure, right? Now, I'm taking a risk buying at this point, looking for a bounce because we are in a downward spiral here. So I could get swept out easily.
Tough trying to outguess them.
I'm just going based on structure. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's all you really can do.
That's it. But I can see right now that structure, we do have a 1, 2, 3 here. However, I have a 1, 2, 3 here as well. So I'll be looking for this move to the upside. However, I could be wrong, and this 1, 2, 3 could be taking precedence, and we could fall through one more time. So it's a tough situation right now that I'm in. An iffy situation. So when it's iffy, you shouldn't really be playing, but I'm trying to, I hate losing, so I'm trying to get my losses back here. So let's see if I can get them back. So looking for a big push back to the upside now. We've got a nice fractal setting up here. Looking pretty good. This gap should hold us above water. Need to take out this high to really feel good about this move. We need to take out this high first, and then the next high. So can we do that? See how S&P looks. S&P's trying. There we go. So at this point, it looked like we were going to go. Now they're coming back again. But we don't have an order block because we don't have a gap. So unless we can get back up there, it could be in jeopardy. That's our time. Okay, so we're past the 3:30 mark. Looking for them to go up. Come on, guys, let's go. This low has to hold. This gap was taken right out. Yeah, it was taken out. There is a gap. There is an inverted gap actually on this side. right there. So I can move my stop up into halfway point of the inverted gap, lessen any loss if they do decide to come back down and take me out. Let's see if we can continue pushing up here.
They're not making any aggressive moves.
Oh, you went all echoey there, George.
Pardon?
You echoed.
They're not making any aggressive moves.
No, not yet. They're probably holding off till 10 minutes to the macro, right?
Yeah.
I have to leave, Lennox.
All right, Peter.
Okay, take care,
Did you
Peter.
get that fib to work?
No, I was focused on trading.
Okay.
I did go long on what we thought was a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and then I went short and grabbed another $1,000.
Excellent.
So
Very good.
I'm going to take the wheelbarrow to the bank right now. So we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Take care.
Um,
So Tesla has fallen here, interestingly, while the NAS is going up. So this is quite interesting. So I could still be in jeopardy because of that. You know, we could still roll over because Tesla seems to always be a little bit ahead of these guys. So I could still come falling down here. It might be my expectation for a climb to these heights might be suspect. But I'm still looking for it here, even though Tesla is grinding down. Yeah, it's looking a bit more and more suspect for me here.
they're still at 2% from yesterday.
Oh, Tesla has made. Where did Tesla go to? Let's see where. Okay, so there is a big gap here as well. So remember, I was saying that there is a gap here between these candles. This is on the 30-minute.
Well, you have a gap like that on
Very wide.
NAS too.
Yeah, 15-minute. Let's see how it looks on the 15. So on the 15, I could shorten it up a little bit. So it's more like that on the 15. So let's use the 15-minute gap. And so we've touched into that 15-minute gap, and we could be getting that bounce that's propelling the NAS and the S&P right now. So that looks like Tesla is doing that. And so maybe this will work. Maybe I will get that push up as I'm expecting here. I'm really expecting it because of this 1, 2, 3 bottom. So that's the main thrust. But on the S&P, it's not the same. So it's a bit suspect on the S&P, but still. So we could get divergence up here as well on the S&P. That's a possibility. So they're trying. Like to get across this high here. It's a battle. Okay, I'd like to take a little something off if I can. Just to say I made a little bit back here. Boom, there. Okay, so I made some back. Now I need a bigger push here. I can move my stop up a little bit more, and just to ease. I don't want to bring it up too much, but that might be good here.
Oh, are we going to get a push out finally?
So get across that guy. Tesla must be making a little bit of a move up. Yeah. So we got a nice. So Tesla set up quite nicely. We swept. Get the 1, 2, 3 here. We're sweeping this previous high. So
I thought we had
should get that move out here as well.
Takes it all back.
And we did have a gap here. Very tiny. Oh, it's so tiny. Look at that. There's a little gap there. It's hilarious. And it's holding price. So interesting. Oh, what a big turn back, eh? So could buy more, but I don't want to do that at this point. I'll just let this amount go. Need to continue pushing up. I didn't want to bring my stop into positive because of they could just do that, what they just did here. So I need to break above this high, then I could bring it up into positive, and that way I don't lose on this trade. So he came back to the semi-order block there. So we're getting a nice push again. Need to take that high. Take the high. I'll take another partial and let the rest go. Oh, that was close. There we go. Okay, so that's good. So now I'll see if the wheel can continue up. I'll put my stop into positive. That's good. Okay, let's see if we can continue sliding up, or they might just sweep that high, which they just did, and we could be heading back down again. So let's see how it looks on the 5. So we're still, in a lull here. We're still down in the gully. It's certainly possible for them to come up and take out this high. Maybe this one. They could reach for these highs here. That's possible as well. Worst case scenario, they just tank it again and take out everybody down here. So which one will it be? We'll find out in 5 minutes.
What's going to happen in 5 minutes?
The macro.
Macro, okay.
All right, gentlemen, I have to be going. Thank you.
Go. I heard the
Yes.
cue.
Take care now.
Yeah. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
All right, Marky, thank you
All
for
right, thank you.
hanging with us. Appreciate it. Marky was very quiet today.
Well, it was more of a waiting day.
Yeah. Well, Bitcoin, like yesterday, has saved me again. I've just been playing Bitcoin while we were doing all this stuff, and
Yeah.
Bitcoin has marched up with nicely from down this level. So I've taken profits off, and I'm sitting with profits still, and it's still going up. So looking for them to come up to these highs here. So it's a similar type of move. I'm not positive they're going to come to take out these highs here. I would like to see them do that, but they might not. So I have to be careful at this point with these profits. Looking pretty good though. So let's see if they can continue doing that, going up. Okay, NAS is still going. So we've got another 3 minutes before the macro. So I'll just keep taking profits off Bitcoin and let the rest go. So Bitcoin has been, I just love playing Bitcoin because it just does what I expect most of the time. So at the macro, in another couple of minutes here, will they actually drop it back to take everybody out down here, or will they continue pushing up is going to be the big question here.
That's a $64 question, right?
Yeah, so Bitcoin is pushing up quite nicely. I can lock in profits at this point. Might as well do that just in case they do decide to come back. But looking good on Bitcoin there. So I'm looking for targets at the highs here. Looks like I could probably even reach for these highs, and I think I can. I'm going to go for those highs there because my 1, 2, 3 says that I should make it to that high, these highs here. So I'm taking out these ones here. So Bitcoin's doing quite a nice run here. Bring my stop up a little bit more, lock in a bit more profits, and see if I can reach to that level. Relatively equal highs here, so I should be able to make it there. Let's see what NASDAQ is doing again. So NAS is trying hard, but it's struggling a little bit. Just ticking at that high. These guys are gone. These guys, that was a nice inverted. So we've got 1 minute to go here less than a minute to go before the macro kicks in. So do we continue going, or do we sneak back down? So let me just move my stop up a little bit just to lock in a bit more profits, just in case they decide to come back down. And they can come back down, take me out anyways, and continue up without me. So All right, we're at 10 minutes too. Let's see what they do. I would expect them to take the high, but you never know. No gaps here. It's a slow climb. So that's where they're heading. There's a gap here, but I would think that they would go through the gap. But I'll mark it just in case. I mean, they might stay in it, but you would think that they would go through and take out the high. There's another high here as well. So it is possible that they could take that one as well, but this is the low-hanging fruit, so we'll go for that one. Let's see how Tesla is doing. So Tesla made a nice move off the bottom, so looking for another push up. So they came right into the middle of that gap. Oh boy, so they could be turning it back. I'm going to bring my stop up a little bit just in case. Just locking a little bit of profit, more profit. See if I can get 500 bucks out of it. Yeah, 500 bucks right there, just in case they decide they're going to come back. But I would expect that they would continue up. Take out that high though. So this is all educational stuff here, guys, out there on YouTube. We do this every day. I do trade live, of course, in my own account. But for those who are watching, you know, this is just for fun, showing you how you can enter and exit trades and so forth. Showing you how you can lose too, real quick, if you're not careful. So all transparent, bar by bar, blow by blow stuff. If you like this, give us a like, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. We're new to this. All right, one more big push here to get above. If I can go above this high, that means we're more than likely going to go through the gap, and I could then move my stop up a little more just to lock in a bit more, just in case again they decide to come back. But it looks pretty good here. Oh, my stop was hit on Bitcoin. I moved my stop up on Bitcoin because I thought maybe that they could come back and yeah, so I moved it up maybe a bit too tight, perhaps, so they could continue pushing. I could always jump back in. That's the beauty of the game. You can always jump back in, and yeah, so they might have just whipped me out. Yeah, wow. So I think I'm going to jump back in because I like Bitcoin, the way it's sitting. So I'll continue with Bitcoin to the upside here. So they're sweeping these guys out here.
Yeah,
Anybody with stops here are getting taken out, and then maybe the final push now to the highs.
what high do you have on yours?
Sorry,
What high are you looking for?
the high to the left here on the 1 minute time
Oh.
frame. The high at 231 high.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully that was just a quick
One
sweep
high
of the
For also
quick sweep
for
here.
different value.
So one final climb into the close. They've slowed things right down, eh? Should be going with a little bit more gusto here to get up to those highs.
You would think so, but boy, they are taking their time.
Interesting how they came right to the middle of that gap. S&P struggling a little bit. Not Tesla. Tesla's really going. Nice play on Tesla. Okay, a couple of minutes before the close. So they might just spike it up at the close here.
You usually find that they have a lot of volatility at the close.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, tomorrow we've got red news and so forth, so there's a lot of activity right at the last minute here. People trying to settle their stuff before the
Yeah,
final
well,
bell.
we get to, well, not quite the end of the month yet. We're getting there.
But because we have red news coming up tomorrow morning, that might have some effect.
Yeah.
Okay, we got less than a minute to go before the bell. So we'll see what they do here.
What's our red news for tomorrow?
I'll look it up for you.
Was GDP and unemployment claims.
Yeah, that's right.
They're dropping it down at the bell. Wow.
And they're dropping it.
And they took me out at the bell. Interesting. So yeah, they could have pushed it up or they could have dropped it. They push it up. They push it down first Still expect them to go back up though. So this is just like a fourth wave. So we would expect another leg up. My stop was a bit tight, just by a tad too, but that's okay.
Hello?
Hi, this is Umar.
You have to mute you there, Armin. All right, so they're looking to push back to take out the highs.
What would you like to know?
Well, I am calling all of my clients to book an appointment for financial review.
I have to mute you, Armin.
My clients on.
All right. Okay, so will they make another final push here after the close?
Yeah, it's a question what they want to do at this point.
Sorry, I thought I muted it after I got my call here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's a call from my bank. I'm going, is it really my bank? They never phone me.
They have your best interest in mind.
Yeah. I'm sure. Is your money safe with us? Are you going to keep it here? You just want to know. You're not thinking about taking it out, are you?
So interesting that NASDAQ is not doing much anymore, but Bitcoin's still
No, NASDAQ is
rocking up.
at this point.
I'm almost at my target on Bitcoin. It went to here, but I could go higher on Bitcoin actually. So I'm going to move my target up even more to the high here.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin trades all hours, so that's not a big deal. But I suspect that volume falls off tremendously on NASDAQ. You put the volume on and see.
Yeah, I thought they would make a final push to take out these highs and go out right up to the top, but they are not.
Our volume falls way off at this point in time.
So it might be because of the news possibly holding everybody back a little bit from buying.
Could be.
So we could see into the after hours, we could slowly meander up there. But
Sure.
it's portending a collapse in any case. Overall, we're still in a downward mode. We have come back up to that gap. So yes, we could go up a little bit more, but we more than likely are going to start to meander down or collapse down again. So quite the day here.
Oh, yes.
Nice opportunities all the way down, and tough going, a little tough going for us again after 1 o'clock. It was choppy, but still able to make profits, even though I had a few losses in there. But I think I've come come up. Bitcoin saved me again today.
Well, that's good. I mean, that works out well.
I had 4 losses in a row at one point there earlier, but I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins after that.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
I don't like losing, George. That's so annoying.
Sure is.
The way Peter describes it, he always says that it's very disturbing for him, and it affects him greatly, which is, you shouldn't let it affect you that much, but I can understand though.
Yeah. Now, if it affects you, you're psychologically, if it affects you, that can be a problem.
You're in the wrong game, perhaps?
Shouldn't be trading at that level.
Yeah, it's a tough one, eh? It's a tough one, George.
Yep. Bitcoin's moving higher, isn't it?
It's not doing anything at all at this point, but like I said, Bitcoin is showing the way. It's pointing the way nicely. So you go with the one that's going, and so you can see our structure here on Bitcoin is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Getting in here and then catching the move. They went through the 4th waves, took some people out, made a new 1, 2, 3. We're going again. So beautiful setup on Bitcoin. Just lovely structure. And looking for them to go to the 5-minute. Looking for them to make it to this high up here. I might be stretching it a little bit, perhaps, but they've taken that high out. But I would expect that they would continue because we do have a 1, 2, 3 here. So I expect them to continue a little higher up. Just gotta love Bitcoin. All right, we've got a couple more minutes before the macro is complete. So back to the NAS. They're not doing, yeah, they're just starting to
I don't think they're going to do too much right now.
sideways it now. So yeah, it's going to be a struggle in Asia.
Boy, it was just about nothing. So
no, not much going on there. So it is Bitcoin that's pointing the way. So it looks like I'm very close to target here, and it looks like it can even go higher than that. So where else will they be going? Maybe for that high, but I don't have to be that greedy. That's fine. I'll take it there, but it might go for that high there. Possibly. There's a gap there too.
Yeah, what kind of spreads do they have? It must be enormous.
Just a little bit more. Bring my stop up a bit more just in case. So it looks pretty good there for me to reach that target, unless I get stopped out again. But all right, so it's 1 minute before the macro is complete. I'll call it a day at that time if everybody is good. So NAS is not doing anything at the end. S&P not doing anything at the end. Tesla finished quite strongly. All right, gentlemen,
Okay, take care.
ladies and gentlemen.
See everyone tomorrow.
I appreciate your attendance as usual. Omar has joined us. Omar, you dropped in late
Yes, sir. I
to the party.
dropped in late, but
You came late. Everybody was jumping for joy, but
Take
she got
care.
up and left.
okay. Yeah, I dropped in late, but caught a piece of the show.
Good.
Yeah, I've been a bit busy. Sometimes I'm on the road.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
We are all busy people.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call it a day unless you have any questions or anything like that, Omar.
Not quite. Not right now.
You're good?
Yes, sir.
Things are good?
Yes, sir. I haven't been trading a lot, but because sometimes
Well, that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I'm on the road trying to find something. So that keep me busy, and sometimes I have to prepare to go on the road, so that keeps me busy as well. But
I understand.
yes, yes, sir.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you, Stacy. Armin, take care.
Yeah. Okay.
Enjoy
Good
the
night.
rest of the day, everyone.
We'll talk to you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye now.